Hi everybody, it's Nunu, and my purpose in this video is to provide an overview of the 4 pop writing assignments we will complete during this course. So what is a pop writing? Well, a pop writing in this course is a 125 word story that's about half a page. In half a page, you have to make the story pop like a kernel of popcorn, pop writing. It has to just explode with a beginning, a middle, and an end. And you also, in the pop writing, have to duplicate the narrator, the conflict, and the plot in a famous literary work that we will have discussed previously, such as Sweat, which is a 1926 short story by the fabulous Zora Neale Hurston. What? Is that possible? 125 words? Is that possible? And aren't I just rewriting the story if I'm duplicating the narrator and the conflict and the plot in a famous short story like Sweat? No, you're not. And yes, it's possible. Up here in assignment notes, I have a note for you to view a sample assignment. Click Next in the bottom right corner. And so I'm going to click Next, and here is a pop writing example of a very successful pop writing. Okay, let's click on Previous, navigate back into the assignment, and let's go full throttle with that question. Aren't you just rewriting the story, such as Sweat, if you're duplicating the narrator and the conflict and the plot? No, you're not, and I will explain why. But before I do, why on earth am I making you write a 125 word story, something that just has to explode off the page like a kernel of popcorn with a beginning, a middle, and an end, a narrator, and a conflict and a plot? What is going on here? Well, I am helping you to avoid the sin of being turgid or turgidity in a writing, which is overwriting. You don't want to take 3 pages to have a character light a match or do something like that. You want to create a conflict immediately in a story, and a conflict is a problem. In literature, there are 7 basic types of conflicts. Some critics will tell you there's 6 or they're 8 or they're 9, but they're approximately the same number, and they are person versus person, self, fate, gods, nature, society, the unknown, extraterrestrial, technology, or machinery. There are only so many kinds of problems that we can confront as human beings. And we have 9 ways of resolving them. And plot is how the problem is resolved. So we have overcoming the monster, rags to riches, quest, voyage and return, comedy, tragedy, rebirth, mystery, and rebellion against the one. So approximately 9 plots. Only so many ways in which a character can resolve a conflict or problem or not resolve it. And we only have so many narrative voices, and there are approximately 7. First person, third person, the detached observer, the commentator, the interviewer, the secret character, or the unreliable narrator, or some combination therein. Now, before we begin to write our pop writings, we will have gone over conflict and plot and narrative voices. This assignment is not to stress you out, but to teach you something very important. Don't be turgid. Avoid the sin of turgidity, of overwriting. Make something happen right away, a problem, a conflict, so that you have a story to tell in the plot and you tell it with a distinctive voice. Now, I'm going to give you an example of how we can use the same conflict, the same plot, the same narrative voice, and come up with 2 different stories, 100 different stories, 1,000. So my conflict or my problem here is person versus person. The plot is overcoming the monster, and the narrative voice is the detached observer, somebody who just tells a story without emotion or opinion. So example number 1, a detached observer narrator tells the story of how a woman finds the courage to leave her abusive husband, describing the woman's plight factually and without emotion. Now, when I say factually, it doesn't mean there can't be imagery and that the woman can't cry. It's just that the narrator doesn't cue us to feel emotion. With the detached observer, as you will learn, and you will learn about all the different kinds of narrative voices, we, the readers, feel the emotion by watching this story unfold. And when a story is really well written, we're kind of like Neo in the 1999 movie, The Matrix. We don't see the code, we don't see the words, we just see images. We see a movie reel in our head, and it's just the best feeling ever, isn't it? Okay, my second example of a detached observer narrator telling the story is how a child refuses to tell the teacher about the playground bully, but secretly engages in a one-on-one fight with the bully after school and wins the respect of the bully and their peers. And again, this story is narrated factually and without emotion. We, the readers, feel the emotion by watching this story unfold. And that's a very clever choice. You will learn about the detached observer, about all these different kinds of narrators, all these different kinds of plot, and all of these different kinds of conflict. And you know about them already because you've experienced them in your own life, haven't you? Okay, so 125 words. We're avoiding the horrible sin of being turgid or turgidity, of overwriting. We don't want to write 3 pages in which a character lights a match. We want the conflict to be there immediately. Okay, so if you have any questions or concerns about the pop writing, which must explode off the page, like, yeah, you get it. This is why I said popcorn. A kernel of popcorn with the beginning, middle, and end, and the narrator, the conflict, and the plot. I am over here in inbox, and you know I keep my office hours and I Zoom. So enjoy this assignment. Don't feel stress. We are learning, we are reviewing what we need to know, so we have that toolbox to write the stories that are churning within us.